This is a response to Loreleila. Hi there, Loreleila. I'm actually on my way down to Cornwall again after the Christmas break. But so I might be driving just past your house. But yeah, it's a response to your video about carrots, which I did leave a comment on there, but yeah, it's a bit different really. Because I've been thinking about your video since, and I'm kind of reinterpreting, I think, perversely probably, what you were saying, which is a question about value. And I guess for me the question there is, can there ever be a circumstance in which an inanimate, insentient entity or object can ever have more value than a sentient, animate object? Does the central nervous system trump anything else in terms of value? Or, as I say, can there be circumstances when other stuff's more valuable? And I'm not talking about abstract. Or maybe I am talking. Yeah. Maybe I'm not sure actually. I was going to say I'm not talking about abstract things like freedom or something, but they ultimately feed back into quality of life and central nervous system related things, don't they? So I'm not sure I can do that. But certainly there is a history of people dying for inanimate objects. People do rush into burning buildings to save the family jewels, or to save their photographs of their loved ones, or to save some relic that's been handed down from the family. People do those kind of things occasionally, so they must at some time feel that the risk at least is worth it. And people do occasionally sacrifice themselves. I mean, particularly in religious terms, obviously. People sacrifice themselves for religious relics, not just religious ideas. But I think that's a bit different. But is there a kind of secular version of that? I mean, certainly during the Second World War, people did take risks to make sure that works of art didn't fall into the hands of the Nazis. And I'm sure there's other situations in which it's happened. In fact, I know there is, and that's not to do with preserving. I don't see the end point in those situations. Kind of ending up back at the central nervous system, back to a calculation about reduction of suffering. It seems to be something else. I'm not sure a carrot would ever count, unless it was the last carrot. If it was the last carrot in town or the last carrot in the world, this is the only. All the seed banks in the world have been destroyed, and the only seeds for carrots, or the only carrot that's capable of growing seeds, is the one that's growing in your garden right now there in Cornwall, Loreleila. Would you sacrifice your life to save the last carrot? I think there are probably people who would actually. People get very not obsessed, but people get very committed to biodiversity, don't they? And I think would be willing to martyr themselves, even though what they're saving is not inherently. I was going to say inherently valuable. It doesn't have a value that can be equated with suffering, and probably not in the future either. People get very attached to, the last of a particular species of animal. Even the ugly and stupid ones, because the end of that genomic line, even though it holds no value in terms of its ability to feed a human being. So again, it can't be parlayed for human suffering or human flourishing. It is a terminal point. People do get very attached to those things, don't they? I don't know if I would, and I might actually, but I certainly wouldn't sacrifice anybody else. I think I've mentioned this before. Yeah, I think I would, throw the last carrot on the fire, along with the last copy of the Wycliffe Bible and the last ever copy of Origin of Species, signed by Charles Darwin himself. I think those would go to the flames before I sacrificed anybody else. But I could probably be persuaded to chuck myself on the flames in the place of some stuff, just so it's not lost to the world. I don't know why though, it's weird, isn't it? I don't know why. Anyway, that's that. I can't think straight when I'm driving. It's not as